Now let's present the shape of the fabric. It depends on the width of the fabric you are using. So please check the size of the fabric, especially the width of your fabric. Normally, the width of the fabric ranges from 40 inches to 54 inches. But let's say I'm going to use 54 inches fabric. Because I would like to keep my original pattern as they are, I'm going to create one more artboard, and I'm going to duplicate the shape of the garment pattern and position it onto the new artboard. So shall we create a new artboard? To create a new artboard, let's open an artboard window. Go to window menu, then choose artboard. I think it is already open in my case. Where is it? Here on the bottom right corner I have artboards window. If you don't have it, you can go to window and choose artboards. Window and artboards. Here is my artboard. And on the bottom of the artboards window, you will have new artboard. This is the second icon from the right. New artboard. New artboard. Then you will have a new page here. And we are going to indicate the width and rough height of the fabric. If you know the exact size of the fabric, you can use that size, but I'm not sure the length of my fabric yet. And to create the shape of the fabric, I'm going to use rectangle. And firstly, let's say I'm going to create a lay plan with folded fabric, which means I'm going to present the shape of the fabric folded based on the middle. And I'm going to click on the document using rectangle shape, and I'm going to input the size of the width. If the width of my fabric is 54, if I divide it into 2, it will be 27 inch. 27 inch. And I'm not sure the height of the length of the fabric yet, so let's say it's going to be 60 centimeter, or you can change it later. So roughly I would say it is 60 centimeter, but it should be longer. So here is the size of the folded fabric. It's quite big, bigger than my paper. However, consider it that it is the original size of the fabric folded, which means we have to scale it down according to the scale of the diagram we have created. Do you remember that the ratio in between the original paper pattern and this diagram was 1:5? So I'm going to reduce this rectangle by 20%, based on the ratio between the paper pattern and the diagram. You have to reduce the size of the rectangle. Then how I can scale it down based on 20%? When rectangle is selected, make sure the rectangle is selected. Then go to Object menu, Transform, Scale, Object menu, Transform, Scale, Object menu, Transform and Scale. Because the shape of the fabric should be scaled down uniformly, I'm going to input 20% in uniform section, 20%. And click OK. And here is the reduced size of the fabric, which is 1/5 scale. And you can extend the length of the fabric, but make sure the width of the fabric should stay as it is. Then if you want, you can change the color of the fabric or your pattern pieces. It's up to you. But let me change the color of my fabric into transparent fill color, but maybe black stroke color. It's up to you, depending on how you would like to present the outcome. It's up to you. And I'm going to select all my garment pieces, and I will apply black color as the fill color. Stroke color, and as the fill color, I might choose maybe yellow. Is it very visible? I hope it is very visible. It is totally up to you. And we are going to position these pattern pieces onto the folded fabric. Please make sure to consider which parts are folded and how many cuts are needed. Sleeve need left and right. Front bodies need left and right. The back body needs to be cut, folded based on the center back, and it only needs one cut. And yoke will be folded based on the center back, but it needs 2 cuts in the case of my garment. So you might need different garment specification. Please to check it beforehand. And color and stand color, color stands need 2 cuts, and both of them will be folded based on the center back. Plackets, each placket needs 2 cuts. 1 pocket is needed, and 2 cuffs are needed. We are going to position the patterns onto the folded fabric, trying to save the material as much as possible. So here is my placement of the patterns, but I don't think this is the best outcome. So please feel free to do some experimentation and try to save material as much as possible. Mine is not the optimized one, but I'm just using it as an example. So in the case of my lay plan, the folded line will be the left edge of the rectangle. And if you would like to visually indicate the folded edge, maybe you can apply some dashed line above the lay plan. So using the pen tool, I'm going to create a vertical line just on the left edge of my rectangle, which is the fabric, and press enter to confirm. And we are going to apply color maybe into white, because the background is white. I'd like to use white color, and the line, this vertical, is going to be dashed line. So if you go to the Windows menu and stroke, you can open the stroke window menu and stroke, and also you will have a shortcut icon on the dock here, stroke. In your stroke window, you can change the width of the stroke. So I'm going to increase it. Maybe I will try 3 points, maybe even 4 points. And I'm going to change the line into the dash, and I will apply white color into as the foreground color. As the stroke color. Then you will have a dashed line like this. So you can visually indicate which part is folded. And if you look at my pattern pieces, I have some pattern pieces reflected. So this is the color stand. I have reflected to save the material. So how can you reflect the patterns? There are 2 methods. I will show you both. So I'm going to duplicate the color stand for you to see. And if you'd like to reflect this part based on the bottom edges, in my case, you can click right button on the mouse, and transform and reflect. Right button of your mouse, transform and reflect. Then you can choose horizontal axis and you can click OK. Also, you can use reflect tool. We have taken out from the tools box. So let me duplicate another color stand. And in this time, I'm going to change the tool into reflect tool. Reflect tool looks like a two triangles facing each other. And while holding down Alt key or Option key, if you're using PC, it's Alt. If you're using Mac, it's Option. Hold down Alt key or Option key. Click the path you would like to use as the axis. Then in the reflect window, make sure this is going to be horizontal axis and click OK. So there is no right or wrong answer. So feel free to use the method you prefer. And sometimes you need to rotate the pattern into 180 in the case of my sleeve. So if you want to rotate the pattern pieces into 180 or 90 degree, select the pattern first, and while holding down Shift key, move your mouse cursor around one of the handle and click and drag. Then you can rotate it into 45, 90, and 135 degree, 180, and you can also further rotate it into 225 degree and 270 and 360 as well.